And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We continue our coverage of South by Southwest in Austin. If you didn't know, many of the food recipes blacks have passed down from generation to generation come from life as a slave. When the masters took the pork chops from the pigs, the workers made it happen with every other part to survive, from the feet to the intestines called chitlins or chitterlings. But soul food has taken a toll on the black community health-wise. That's why experts are now preaching healthier eating while also less waste. We chatted with Vanessa and food scientist Allie Manning in Austin at South by Southwest.
You know, we don't think about food and eat healthy. The whole time wasting food.
Allie, as an individual who's trying to educate the public as a food scientist, when you're talking about black food, we know historically it's been unhealthy. Some of it has been unhealthy with the ingredients. So how do you talk people into changing some of those ingredients to make it healthier?
Yeah, you know, I encourage people to eat it in moderation. Consider a balanced diet, ones that are high in nutritional value, not always consuming those foods that have high sugar, high sodium, and are high in calories. Diversify your menu and the way that you prepare your food. And I think you'll find that it might be better than what you had before. It's not always about what you used to do or how it's always been, but I think following your curiosity and exploring new foods is a new avenue, a way that we can introduce foods and encourage everyone to eat better.
And have you helped someone and they said, you know what, it's not that bad. I like the ideas that you've given me, the alternate ingredients that you've given me, and when you get that kind of response from a person, what is that like for you?
Well, I get it from children all the time. You know, for one, to see a black food scientist in front of them, they're inspired already from that moment. And I think being able to share more of the work that I do, why food is important, how it functions in the body, encourages them to not only do it for themselves, but to do it for their family members as well.
And Vanessa, it just doesn't have to be a black family. It could be any family in America where food is being wasted. I think the number you guys quoted, anywhere from 38 to 40% of the food goes to waste. Why is that?
A lot of it, there's so many reasons, you know. Majority of that food waste, so as you said, the 38 to 40% happens at the household level, and, you know, individuals are quote-unquote always the easiest people to blame, but what we often say is that it's a consumer environment. It's the choices that people have. You know, when you go to the grocery store, you buy a loaf of bread, it says Best Buy, Enjoy Buy, Use Buy. It's all confusing. So that level of understanding where we don't have standardized or federally regulated understandings of like what sorts of date labeling that we use contributes to that. So there's education that's lacking and awareness that's lacking, but it's also different ways that other entities, whether it's grocery stores, whether it's government, like policymakers, being able to put into place like processes and procedures that allow people to understand how best to optimize their food.
And if you have that food that's left over, what would be your best advice to someone? Give it to the homeless or repurpose it somehow, some way?
There are multiple ways. You know, one of the biggest issues when it comes to food donation is whether or not it's safe.
Right.
So you have a lot of issues where grocery stores themselves don't even want to give it to pantries because there's that risk. So, you know, incentivizing governments, you know, to create regulations that lower that risk, because no one wants to be, you know, in charge of health risks or an outbreak of some sort. But understanding that there are novel ways, you know, leftovers, that's something that within our own culture as black people, like our cuisine came from that. It came from scraps.
Right.
Heck, oxtail, heck, soups, stock. There's so many innovative ways that we can optimize what we have if only we applied the knowledge that we can find, or we're proactive in creating very creative recipes.
And Ollie, do you think a lot of people are just simply overcooking? And they, like your grandmother, you're expecting a house full of people when those people are not coming.
That's right. Source reduction, making sure that you can purchase, proper purchasing, put that in place. Send them home with a to-go box. Encourage, freeze it. You know, that's an easy way to store these food items without throwing them away.
Great event, South by Southwest, and hopefully you enjoyed our coverage.